Hello and welcome to Deadline Horror News Live for December 15th, 2021. I'm Josh. I'm joined here with Donnie.
Hey.
And the Professor Smoke.
Hey.
And, of course, we are from the All-American Spookshow Horror Podcast. Like always, we want to remind you to like and subscribe to the channel down below click on the bell to be notified when we upload new videos like these when we go live here and other podcast episodes and everything else we load on here, so you don't want to miss a thing. We want you to become a supporter of the Spook Show by going over to patreon.com/AA Spook Show and sign up to become a patron. We've got levels, as you see there on the screen, starting at like $1, $3, $5, all the way up to the $1,000 Spook Show Insanity level, which, you just need to go over and check that out. You can see the little picture of the chick from Sleepaway Camp there on that. We want to remind you that episode 86 of the podcast is out now. And it's our Spook Show Spotlight Holiday Horror Part 2 episode. That just came out this past Monday. And basically, I think that was just you and I, wasn't it, Donnie, on that one? Yeah. It was just the two of us. Smoke and Will had better things to do. So, but that one, basically, we just focused on Christmas horror because on Part 1, we talked about Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and New Year's horror movies. So there were so many Christmas horror movies. We just wanted to save one episode just to focus on that. And that's what that is. That just came out this past Monday. And next Monday is episode 87, our latest movie review. just the picture. The Ginger Dead Man from 2005. Now, this is the one that won the Patreon poll in November. This is what the patrons decided they wanted to hear us talk about here in the month of December. So, and that's basically, no, not basically, that is our last episode before Christmas. So that's pretty much how we're celebrating Christmas this year, is watching The Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah.
That will be out.
Which technically isn't even a Christmas movie, right? We discussed that in there anyways.
Yeah, well, the only connecting thread that, just thinking back on it when we were talking about it was just the fact that it's a gingerbread man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We couldn't come up with any other reasoning as to why this is considered a Christmas horror movie, but whatever. But anyways, that will be out next Monday, December 20th at 6 p.m. East, where you normally get your podcast. Unless you're a patron at least the $5 level, you'll get it early over on patreon.com/AA Spook Show. So I'm going to toss it to you, Donnie. What's the latest deadlines in horror news?
Yeah, man. So Wes Craven, Nightmare on Elm Street is actually now in the Library of Congress, the National Film Registry. So it joins Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, Alien, Psycho, The Shining, The Exorcist, just as a handful of horror movies to have gone into the Library of Congress over the last several years. But no, that's pretty cool. Was it Nightmare on Elm Street was the very first, I would say, real horror movie that I ever watched, and I was 5 when I saw it.
Yeah, because you said you went and saw Gremlins at the movie theater, right? So that's kind of a horror movie. Yeah,
I do recall that. But
yeah, either way, yeah. I don't remember when I saw the first Freddy or any of those movies or the original, but it was sometime in the late 80s by the time I probably watched it.
Man, I remember it because my dad got in trouble for showing it to us.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing?"
I think we pretty much had a similar situation go down in our house. and one, beyond like the violence of the movie, those are the things that stick in your head. But that picture right there that you see on the screen, that's one of the things that I remember seeing, like, when I was a kid. So,
man,
I know that now, Nancy.
That's awesome.
So that's the best picture we could come up with there.
Yeah, there were no other ones.
Yeah.
No, some sad news here recently. Author Anne Rice recently passed away on the 11th. She was authored, I think, probably most famously the Vampire Chronicles, which led to the movie Interview with a Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was it? I read something here recently where she hated when Tom Cruise was cast in the movie. She was like, "Oh, this is bullshit," and then basically exactly what we were thinking. Right around that time, it was like, "Yeah, it sucks," but no. And then she saw him. I guess saw his performance and changed her mind. But
I've never read any of Anne Rice's novels, but my wife is a huge fan of hers, and she was upset about it, hearing her passing. But
yeah,
I mean, she was 80 years old. Not to say that that's a death sentence, but once you get over 80, man,
anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, unfortunately. But yeah, she'll definitely be remembered for all of her novels and the movies and TV series and everything that kind of spun off of that, for sure. So she left behind a great legacy of horror, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So typically we would have like 3 different headlines that we would cover, but we put the rest of the headlines on the ticker. The ticker is actually a kind of a new feature that we're starting to use. So yeah, throughout the show, we'll have that running on the bottom.
Yeah, that's all the general information about the show, and then we got a bunch of random headlines that we pulled there. So
yep,
just keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
One fan experience or convention that we could find this weekend, and that is the 17th through the 19th. So that's this Friday through Sunday in Pasadena, California. Season Screamings 2021. So if nothing else, it's got a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a horror themed con at Christmas time, Season Screamings. Guests there will include Zach Galligan, from Gremlins.
Yeah.
Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster, famously back in the 60s Munsters TV series. I have to say that because there were other versions, and then you got that new Munsters movie directed by Rob Zombie coming out next year. So, but yeah, he was the original Eddie Munster. So they're going to be there, and I'm sure plenty of others and cool stuff to do. So if you're in the Pasadena, California area this weekend, head on down to the Pasadena Convention Center. You can go to midsummerscream.org/seasons-screamings for that's a mouthful for
it's a
information.
ridiculous website.
Yeah. I'm sure if you just Google Season Screamings Pasadena, you'll find what you need to go over there. We've got the box office report here. This is from this past weekend.
I'm going to blow this up a little bit.
What you got? Oh, okay, there you
go.
Yeah. That's from this past weekend of December 10th through the 12th. I'll start at number 10. Actually, back into the top 10, up from number 11 is Venom: Let There Be Carnage, and it's 11th week, so it's still breaking the top 10.
Oh.
Down from number 8, at number 9 is Dune. Down all the way from number 4 to number 8 is Christmas with the Chosen, The Messengers. Now, apparently, this is some kind of like Fathom Events type, like concert type of thing. I think it's like a Broadway play called The Chosen or something that I guess they got musical performances from. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't interest me, but if that kind of thing, interests you, then I guess that's playing in, whatever theaters are playing the Fathom Events. No. Number 7, once again, the biggest horror release of the year, Clifford, the Big Red Dog, in its 5th week. This thing won't stop haunting us.
It'll be here next year this time.
Yeah, we'll still be talking about 2021's biggest horror release.
Somehow it moved up to like number 3 spot.
Yeah, damn it. But it held steady at number 7. Number 6 also held steady. Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City in its 3rd week made $1.6 million for a total so far of $15.8 million. Obviously, it's a slow time of the year for horror movies, so I guess it's doing well enough. Number 5 held the same. The latest Marvel flick, Eternals, in its 6th week. Number 4 down from number 3, House of Gucci, in its 3rd week. Number 3 down from number 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which made $7.1 million in its 4th week for a total so far of little over $112 million. Now that's not worldwide gross, that's domestic gross, and I think one of the headlines down there that you'll see on the ticker, we mentioned that I think worldwide Ghostbusters Afterlife is approaching $200 million globally. So that's awesome. Number 2 down from number 1, the latest Disney animated flick, Encanto, And number one in its debut week, West Side Story, the latest from Steven Spielberg, made $10.5 million. So I'm not a musical guy, so I can't claim to be excited for that or anything. But clearly, some people were for the biggest release. Now, all of these are about to get smashed to bits this coming weekend by the new Spider-Man flick. I'm sure that thing's probably going to make. I'd be shocked if it made any less than what. Even COVID numbers. What would you think? What would be the roundabout? Probably about 150 million in one weekend on the high end.
Probably.
I mean, it's going to rake it in.
I know we're going to see it tomorrow night.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I haven't looked to see if there's any tickets left around here for tomorrow night. I doubt it, but I might try to go sneak out and see it Friday night. We'll see. I don't know. It just depends on what's going on and whether I'm able to or not. But I'd like to see it sooner rather than later because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of spoilers for that one out and about real quick. So if that one interests you, you probably want to go see it sooner rather than later. New releases this week. We've only got 2, and both of those come out next Tuesday. We've got Antlers coming out on video on demand next Tuesday, the 21st, as you see there. And then Roh, R-O-H, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. That also comes out next Tuesday, and that will be on Blu-ray and DVD, and I'm assuming digital and everything. Yeah. I think at one point or another we've talked about both of those films coming out, in its various ways up to this point, but they'll be out next Tuesday on VOD and Blu-ray and whatnot. And just one last thing, I guess before we tap out here for this week, the horror anniversary date, we only have one, and that is, December 21st. So that is next Tuesday. Will be the birthday of producer, director, writer Michael Carreras. He was born, like I said, on December 21st, 1927. And unfortunately, as you see there, he passed away in 1994. But so we always want to throw those out when we see him. Yeah. Now, he is mostly known. Well, first off, he's the grandson of Enrique Carreras, who's one of the co-founders of Hammer Films. He directed. He produced more than he directed, but he did direct Maniac from 1963, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb in 1964, a handful of other movies for Hammer and others that weren't horror movies. But yeah, like I said, he's got 18 directing credits on IMDb, 76 producing credits, even 8 writing credits over on IMDb. So I'm sure you can go check all of those out. But very influential name and face there in Hammer Films history. So we just wanted to shout out his birthday. So I guess really that's it.
We got one more, just kind of like a little reminder.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This month's Patreon poll for December. Now this will be for the movie that we're going to be watching on January 31st. So literally at the end of January, that will be episode 93. So it's still a little whiles away, but you've got to the end of the month, literally December 31st at 11:59 p.m., right before the stroke of midnight, the beginning of the new year. You can go over to Patreon.com.
No, not to midnight. No,
pretty close. But you can go over to Patreon.com/AA Spook Show. Sign up. I think it's at least the $3 level, and you can cast your vote for what we're going to be watching there. And as you see, the 3 choices this month are X-Ray, aka Hospital Massacre, Enter the Ninja, and 10 to Midnight. Now, the connecting thread that you see on the right-hand side of the screen there, these are all canon films, like early canon films from the early 80s. So go over to Patreon.com/AA Spook Show right now, sign up, and cast your vote to see what we're going to be watching at the end of January. And, of course, come early January, after the first of the year, we'll have the January poll up. So that will be for something that we're going to watch in February. So we'll let you know what that's going to be within the next couple of weeks. So as you see there on the screen, as always, there are all the places you can find us: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the Slasher app. We're on TikTok. You should be able to find us pretty easily by, just searching for All-American Spook Show. You'll find us on all those things. We have our YouTube channel that you're watching right now. We go live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. or so, give or take a few minutes, with Deadline Horror News Live. And then, of course, every Tuesday over on Patreon, new video minisode drops, Library of the Professor. You sign up there, you get early access to episodes. Like I said, the poll that we just talked about, all kinds of cool stuff. So, and we're also We also have a TeePublic. We need to get that on the screen too, because we always forget about the TeePublic page sometimes.
Oh yeah. No.
But yeah, you can find all that by there should be a link tree link down in the show notes where you can click on that and it should give you the links to all this stuff. But if you go over to our TeePublic page, we've got logoed merchandise, with all the various Spook Show logos that we've had, some other cool designs that we've added on there. So lots of cool stuff to be had over there. So no excuse for you not to be involved in the world of the Spook Show. So I guess that's it for this week, guys. Unless y'all had anything you wanted to add here before we signed off for the night.
Oh, let's see. No, we'll be back next week. So yeah.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Next week, the Deadline Horror News, that'll be our Christmas episode, since that's literally like 2 or 3 days before Christmas. That's next Wednesday night. So that'll kind of be our last Christmas related thing, before we start switching gears and heading into the new year. So like I said, don't forget, Holiday Horror Part 2 is out right now wherever you get your podcast, and next Monday, The Ginger Dead Man. So for Will, it's going to be interesting. I'll say that. Just hold tight and get ready. So, for Will and for Donnie and the Professor Smoke, I'm Josh. We are the All-American Spookshow Horror Podcast. We'll see you next week.
See you guys
later.